Well, all right, let's run it back. We got 3 months left of the year, and you haven't done shit. You still a piece of crap. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But in all seriousness, the start of this video, man, I'm gonna be talking about the topics of really the whole concept of bravery and the whole idea of having your instinct over your intellect. Really, for me, I'm always wanting to understand more of like making the bolder decisions and everything, and to really have a revelation and really make an impact, of my own life and even the relationships around me. I know we just heard of like I don't want to go into the politics into much of that, but hey, I won't shy away from a debate or any of that. But I will say is for the people in my channel, I will say, the world is gonna do what it's gonna do, and instead of I'm just freestyling right now, man. I don't even have this written down. But instead of worrying about the White House, worry about your own house. A person is made from his home and to then out reflect into the world, So we could point the finger of who's this, who's in charge, who's this, it's going to do what it's going to do. It's just what are you going to do? I've said it back then where it's like oh my god, it's like inflation, like the prices are up, like food, you go up, the prices go up, you go up. Better said than done, but it's movement. We're moving and trying to be better and take action instead of all this talk, instead of all this talk. But really, in today's topic, I'm really going to talk about the whole idea of bravery and the ins and outs of it, and the rewards and the effects and even the hits that can come from that, making the bolder decisions than rather being limited to comfort. Most of the time we walk through comfort, and what I call it is people are walking dead, spiritually dead. And really training that idea of trusting yourself into choosing your instinct over intellect, like thinking like I can have so much time to think about it and rationalize all about it. But when you know it's right, it's at the moment, and it's just and poof, and things can happen when you just happen do things at the perfect right time, and it just like you go all in. And another thing too is that I wanted to talk about later on this video is being neutral. Being neutral, finding your zero. I probably mentioned this in my last video, but I really wanted to get into that, and what it means to find your zero and how it can affect our decision making. you know like a little hint is like, never make a decision where you're too happy, because emotions can direct us into a different pattern of our life, and we'll forever regret it. you know Making decisions that when you're too mad, and then you hear of this dawn of ages is you never want to make a decision based off on how you're feeling. You want to make a decision based off of logic, out of like making of sense, because then that's how would you say, what's the most like, how would I say, like the most chaotic events happen like that, like what, school shootings and all that, because we were bullied. I can go further on, but that's like an example. And so yeah, man, look, before I even continue, look, I ain't the type of guy to, share to you into this channel right here to be giving you the cringy motivational speech talk and a fucking like, this ain't no fucking motivational speech. It ain't for me. I don't want to be the guy to give you something that you already know. You're into this channel because you came across this channel, or you fuck with me. If you don't care. But in the long run, we're gonna see how we progress. The ins and outs of my own life and fucking what I can offer. And some may work more than others with those motivational shit. But I'm gonna give you from my experience, from what I think works. And in the long run, we'll see what's up. But yeah, you see, with me, I've been trying to make sense of making the bolder decisions, honestly, that are more risk taking. Risk taking can be like, I've had this had this conversation with my family, like, like with even growing up. I'm probably speaking to someone right now where money is always an issue. I don't mean to put my shit out there, but I will say I do come from a low income family, and all the time, money was an issue. Money was an issue. Like it's like, ay man, it's like it's too expensive. But don't get me wrong, I've grown up to realize like I didn't know that. But when you're older, you realize like, damn, that's how much my parents make. Damn, we could only afford this, we could only afford that. When you go out into the world, you're able to see and compare like of different families and everything, what they can have. You see people have the most luxury shit. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is that is making the bolder decisions into having a lasting effect. My whole point of that is taking the risk. If it's like my whole point with the money thing is like it takes money to make money. It takes money to make money to then have a product and your product to be out, and then you get customers to come in. Going in from there. You don't want to be someone that's in and out. It's easy to be like it's easy to be in and out into sticking in the comfort. Like, oh, let me just half-ass it. Let me half-ass this shit because I wanted to feel something. I know I'm already spinning right now, but even I can say with the relationship. I guarantee I sound like a dick right now, but like I know fools like in high school, like fucking they were that guy that always needed to be in a relationship. They always needed to be in a relationship because they felt lonely. They felt lonely. And to anyone that may feel like that, it's like I need to be in a relationship. Like dog, who told you were lonely? I'm speaking to my guys right here. Women, feel free to fucking hear or listen. But what I will say is, who told you were lonely, man? Why is it that you're always needing the validation of to feel something? That feel that you're always jumping and abusing your body. And I will say, like, man, like it's time for it's in need a time of healing. It's not an overnight fix, but I will say it is a process of healing because you're just feeding into the thoughts like, you're forever lonely. You need to go and jump through here, through here, through here, and to then fulfill that satisfaction. Dog, you're whole. You're whole regardless. Who told you you were lonely? Who told you were a lost cause? Who told you that you need to be with this and that to feel that you're just digging a home? I swear I used to know this guy in high school who'd always needed to be in a relationship to feel something, like, oh my god, I just this, and then just overall toxicity. And I ain't gonna bullshit. Culture likes that. I mean, we all know at the end of the result of that, but hey, do you? At the end of the day, you read them by their fruit. They become an old age and they lonely. It's funny because motherfuckers be the type to give advice to be like, oh, you need to do this to do this. It's like, nah, I'm in it for the long run. I need my ride or die, like Bonnie and Clyde. That's bullshitting. But in all seriousness, it's overall taking the courage route over the comfort route. And as days and days I'm trying to go by, I ain't gonna lie, it is hard to even continue on because you see no progression, no results. Like I'm putting in the reps, I'm trying, like this is bull. Like I don't even have the spotlight. No one's giving me the validation. No one's giving me a hey, congratulations. I feel you on that. But at the other side, man, is was what like, nah, I have this mission, I have this goal, is my intention, and I know that, hey, it's a win, it's a bag. And with that, I would say it's literally probably exactly what I just said in my last video, is seeing the unknown, is with your good works, your faith becomes stronger. And with these good works, man, it's just being brave. It's just fucking like keep going and believing the unknown, is having faith. Like, hey man, I don't see no results right now, but hey, I know my mission, I know I'm gonna get better, I know this is what's gonna happen. That's with fitness goals, your career goals, your relationship goals, being spontaneous and all that. And we come with this, there will always be crossroads of comfort and courage. And from the biggest to the smallest things, the decisions that we make in our life. And with this is practicing this muscle of just of going with this and becoming and making the bolder decision. You begin to reflect and have this new aura of yourself. You're someone that is more, like I said previously, is you're someone that is more safe. You're more assured of yourself. Assure. I wanted to say that, assure of yourself. When you're so assured of yourself, you begin to be so confident that only you yourself know and think like, hey, how can I beat my expectations? How can I beat my standards? How can I, like, you become so firm that you're able to stand 10 toes down. You know, it's crazy because I know a lot of people, even look at it in your daily living. You see a lot of motherfuckers, you see a lot of even people that will do anything. They'll dance, they'll imitate, they'll be a people pleaser, a yes man to get the validation of others. It's crazy. It's crazy seeing this. You know, I would say I was an introvert kid. I was very quiet, and I would see this shit, man. Like even in high school, and college, and even till now, you see a lot of motherfuckers where they be dancing like, hey, I'm your guy. Oh yes, your favorite color is green. I like green too. Oh, you like that artist? Me too. To fucking dick ride and to be a yes man, to please from to need the validation of others, to be accepted. And I'll be damned for even for a chick too. I swear, you see a lot of motherfuckers, they lose themselves. They lose themselves when they get into this situation. Why? Why is that? It's because of lack of identity. A lack of identity. And I didn't even want to jump to this topic too, but hey, that's exactly an entrance for anxiety and furthermore, even depression to sweep on in. Where does anxiety come from? Anxiety comes from a lack of identity, not knowing what you want. Like I said, when you know yourself, like with me, you know, I'm gonna push it in right now, and I know for the people that know me, they know me. If not, you'll soon meet me. But I will say that yeah, Brandon, he's the guy that says whatever he wants. Brandon, he's out there. He's the go-getter. He doesn't care. He drinks. He does this. He does that. He's a loud motherfucker. You know, he says the truth. You know, he's straight to the point. He's nonchalant. For the people that don't know me, they know me. You know, like he's this, he says that, he says out of pocket shit, he says the most racist things, he says this, he says that. Hey, that's me. I don't like all of it. Yeah, I don't like all of it, but that's me. And you know your intentions with everyone, you know? The lack of identity is what a lot of people, you know, they get into, man. That's what I'm saying. You know, I was covering the whole thing on bravery. And when from there is you begin to then develop this assurance where you become so confident where you're able to be firm, and you now go out into the world and think, how can I beat my expectations? How can I beat my standards? You're able to stand 10 toes down and know wherever you would go, this relationship, her, him. Hey, I see this friend group. They good for me or they not? You know, can they do this? Can they do not? And the sad thing is too, I veces, you know, I ain't gonna lie, you learn like, hey, maybe I'm too much for them. Maybe I'm too much, and it's cool, man. Like, let people read you by your fruit, man. As long as you're winning, G, do what serves you, man. Do what serves you. You know, I see my wins. I see the person I'm becoming. You know, I ain't becoming, I am. You know, it's the language that we were talking about, which I'll talk about in a few seconds. But like I'm telling you, man, you see a lot of motherfuckers where they're just like, oh my god, like, yeah, dude, like, oh yeah, oh, it's my favorite color too, dude, like, oh yeah, dude, same. Like, you begin to be like I said, a yes man, and then you lose yourself, and then whatever's trying to be hidden, it will be shown in spotlight. Whatever you try to hide will one day be seen in spotlight, man. Like it's wild, man. Like people will dance and will literally put on a show for others, man. My whole point is with bravery, is that you wanna train this muscle and to make the better decision with your actions, because then right after you're someone who's then different. You have a new aura of yourself. you're more assured, you're 10 toes down and be like, hey, I know what I want, I know what I'm gonna get. I see her, fucking I want that. I see this, man, I know I'm gonna get that. That career is mine. I called it, you know? And ain't that attractive, man? Ain't that attractive? Like, I don't know what media tells you, man. You got to do this, and then you get here are the top 10 ways to be the most sexiest guy ever, man. It's being you. It's being you. And you hear this bullshit, thing, I'll say my shit on it, but like, with the whole, like, oh, this is Riz, like, oh, this is Riz when you do this, man. That's what gets you like a one night stand, G. I'm in it for the long term. You want some of the purest, most dopest relationships. I mean, shit, I know people in my own life, man. Shit, if not the majority of this world, where they're in a bullshit relationship that they don't even respect each other. They're just in it because they didn't want to be lonely, man. Shit, with me, G, and the people in my crowd, man, like we're all, and we eat together, we good together, and hasta see where we're just going up, man. And I will say, you wanna continuing on, man. You wanna really know how you can get into the next step of your life, G. You really wanna know how you can get into the next step of your life, G. Is just not giving a fuck, being nonchalant with it. Better said than done. I agree, but it's literally just not giving a fuck. Like, I dress up for me. I know I look good. I know if I'm not thinking like, oh shit, I'm gonna dress up to hopefully get the validation for someone to say like, oh wow, you look good, you smell good. Like motherfucker, I know I look good. And that's with fucking everything. The career. Like, oh wow, why are you doing that career? Like, oh my God. If you in college or not, fuck it, you do it for you, G. Boomers, old motherfuckers, even chicks or even dudes, like, they shouldn't even put your 2 cents. When you know what you want, you go get it, Chasing a dream and shit. Read them by their fruit. Like, tell them to look in the mirror. Are they doing the same shit? I be up there, like, I be talking shit like a motherfucker, but I be judging, like, hey, who is you to say this about my career? Who is you to give me advice on this? Who's you to tell me the relationship? And I hear that shit a lot too. I hear that. I know I'm getting personal right now. If you're further in this channel and reading this, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Even they give me advice, like a whole relationship advice. Like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. It's like, motherfucker, you on your third one. Like, who are you to give me advice, G? You the guy that got cheated on? You the guy that... I could go on, but I'll save that for another time. But like, nah, for real. Read them by their fruit. Like all I gotta say is just not giving a fuck. That's with career, relationships, goals, and all that shit. Like, even this, I'll even talk about this shit, this platform. I don't give a fuck if my friend group says shit. The baddest chick that I'm talking to, that, all this shit, like, oh, my family, all this, like, I don't give a fuck. It's for me. I know what I'm doing. I know the end goal, and I know what I'm gonna stand for, like it or not. And hey, te voy a decir that, I will say it too, that, again, going all in something that you're good at, Have you ever tried to do something and fucking, like, like, I finally found what I'm good at. And you do it, and it ain't it a shame sometimes where people are like, nah, like, she's kind of gay. You can't do it. Nah, G. It's you at the end. You're gonna get old. You're gonna die one day. And then you're gonna be like, damn, what if I never gave a fuck of what that fool said? Damn. Or what she said. Like, what's stopping you? Like you should think like, nah, it's me. And hey, like I said before, you're able to get your answers faster when you do you. And ain't that the most attractive thing? To be doing, is when you just doing you say the truth, you speak the truth, and all that, ain't that some? You're purist. You ain't trying to be like low key and be like, like, what's your favorite color? Like, I don't know, but I'm too cool. Like, what the fuck is that? I mean, like I'm gonna cut this shit too. Like you, like, with all this, and I'm gonna keep it 100. I know I'm talking about this whole bravery thing and all that, but in this generation of 2024, and we're coming close to an end, I ain't even gonna lie, like we have it easier than how we had than many years before. We have it way easier. Today's bravery, honestly, ain't compared to what it was back then. Literally, today's culture is just worried about like what we're worried about what other people think. That's literally it. Like, oh, I don't know if I should start doing that because of what they're gonna think of me. I don't know if I should get into that because so and so's gonna look at me this way. I'm gonna be too much. Oh, if I jump into that, or if I get into that, or I wear that, they're gonna think like, oh, that motherfucker ain't. He's just, yeah, he's too much. He's too much. She's too much. You know. That's literally it. Literally, it's just not giving a fuck. It's just not. It's being nonchalant and like knowing like, hey, I know I look good. I know I feel good. I know what I said is what I said, and this is what I stand for. You know. and and hey, don't be surprised when you start applying these things, or when don't be surprised when you start applying this into your life and not giving a fuck and doing things for you. I'm big on being selfish, you know. Of course, yes, I do preach it in this channel to be a servant. Give, give, and when you get the same back, you know it's worth it. You're able to get it faster, you know. You know, there's no weakness and vulnerability, you know. It's just being human and doing your part. And hey, you didn't get nothing? Yeah, sabes. You know who comes in and out. What I will say, man, is just being you, being authentic. I see, you know, putting it all in. And don't be surprised, you will lose people along this route. It's the hardest thing, you know, and what you thought you had this whole idea of like, damn, I have this future with her, man. I have this future with her. Like, oh my God, like we were going to do this, and that. I thought we were going to level up, but hey, man, at best when you're going up, you're stepping up, being too much or being pure and wanting to strengthen that thing. You know, you have barriers to do. You have barriers to not do. You have like some restrictions that you want to do to strengthen your relationship. You know, hey, sometimes it is what it is. Sometimes they don't want to be saved. You know, that's a different thing. But it's literally not giving a fuck. Literally not giving a fuck. You and not being a people pleaser. You know, not being a yes man and all that shit. And I'll even say this shit too. You know, I know I'm getting personal right here. But, you know, earlier this week was the election, you know, and I'm sitting down. I'm sitting down with a group of homies right here. We're drinking one, and you know, I've heard of this, you know, not just of this week, but I will say like even previous times, you know, of when I'm with homies and they're in relationships, they tell me like, oh man, like the election, right? Like, oh dog, who'd you voted for? I voted for so and so. Like my girl wanted me to vote because I didn't care, you know, so I just did it. Oh my God, my girl, she wanted me to do this, so I did this for her, I guess. I didn't want to. Oh, that spot we were supposed to eat, man, I didn't like that food, but we went because of my girl. Oh my gosh, she got mad because she saw something where they did a picnic, so I had to fucking do that picnic for her. I didn't want to do it. Like, this dick, like, literally, where's your input? Where's your input? You know, I'm big on relationships. I'm big on chivalry. I'm big on on um on on having the most purest relationships. But you know, the thing that upsets me, G, is like I see a lot of motherfuckers, man, you know, that they don't want to put their 2 cents in what they think in the relationship. They be how would I say this? They begin to pedal. They begin to lose themselves in the relationship and just try their best. They lose themselves in trying to please their partner when literally you're not being yourself. You know, it's like where that's how you're gonna end up losing someone. Overall, your respect, you know, like your self-respect, you know, like where's your input, you know, hearing this shit, I'm like, dog, like you let her do all this shit, like to stomp around you just to have this much of like puss or a little hug. It's like, what's up with that, you know? Like, it's like dudes are not being dudes. You're not leading with authority. You're not putting in like your 2 cents. Like, I thought it was supposed to be mutual. I thought it was supposed to be mutual, you know? And hearing this, I'm like, damn, dog, nah, like, you just doing it just to do it. Like, I did it because she told me to. Or, I don't know, go talk to your mom. Or, I don't know, like literally, like, where you at? Like, lazy? You lazy? You know, and that's the other thing, man. Soon I will have a series of, like relationships and dating and all this shit. But, like, that's another thing, man, is as you begin to get lazy, you're not pouring into your relationships, you know? You start pointing the finger like, oh, because if it wasn't for you, we would have done this. It's just like in Genesis. It's just like in Genesis when Eve ate the apple. Whose fault was it? It was Adam, because he was supposed to be out there checking for Eve. And then God went and approached Adam, and Adam pointed, well, it was her. And then Eve was like, well, it was him. And then we start pointing the fingers when things get serious. I encourage you, if you're in a relationship right now and all of a sudden y'all talking about morals, y'all want to have those serious talks, hey, you should read the flags within the first week, the first 2 weeks, man. You know, I see a lot of people in meaningless relationships just hurting each other's bodies, Like, nah, man, culture just teaches you of how to use each other and how to hurt each other, man. It's same for everybody. It's up to you, though. It's up to you. But what, you too afraid to choose the courage route, right? Instead, you want to be in this mid-ass relationship, you know? Nah, nah. You should be an example of like this is what it is to have God in the center. This is what it is to be in the most purest relationship. This is what it is when you show unconditional love. I mean, shit. I want that. Don't you? Shit, because everyone's walking dead. Like, they don't even say I love you to each other. Ain't that crazy, man? Ain't that crazy? And with this, man, is like the whole thing about bravery is being assured of yourself is um all the time. I get it all the time where you're in the midst of like a job interview, a presentation, you know, approaching that girl in general. You begin to feel this tension, like oh my god, like this interview, her beauty's too much. Like, oh my god, like this audition is too much. It's too much. Like, when you begin to practice this muscle, when you begin to practice this and be assured of yourself, when you have reps on reps on reps, you begin to have this new aura. You begin to have this new confidence where you're the one applying the pressure. How the fuck can you fold under pressure when you the one applying it? You know, it's live by smoke. That's a different type of aura, a new type of assurance is when you know you're assured of yourself, you know? Is that you begin to think, and it's your perspective on everything, man. Is like, how the fuck can you fold under pressure is when you the one applying it, is live by smoke, is knowing like, hey, nah, in this situation right here, you know, I see a bad chick, you know, I see little shawty, like, I'm gonna be the one like doing my thing, you know, I'm gonna be the one spin, I'm gonna be the one talking to her. This job interview, fuck it, it's mine. I'm the one interviewing him. You know, this presentation, man, I'm gonna make all the students look up and be impressed by me. It's the language, it's the tonality, you know? Like, and I'm telling you, a different thing that I did notice about bravery, being more assured, being able to stand on your 10 toes down even better, and more confidence and more aura about yourself, is literally your language. Literally your language. Like, oh my God, I feel this pressure, you know, I see her, like, I want to approach her, I want to ask her out. This presentation, this job interview, it's like, nah, G, you know what? How the fuck can I fold under pressure when I'm the one applying it? You know, I'm the one that lives by smoke. You know, one of us is gonna be surprised. One of us is gonna be surprised, you know? And from there you begin to think and stand better and be like, nah, nah, this is mine. Like, the fuck? Like, I'm interviewing you. Bitch, you like me, you know? It's that, you know? It's a different perspective. It's a different language, you know? It's like knowing, like, nah, like, I'm the one fucking applying it. Like, nah, I ain't the one nervous. You the one nervous. Like, don't you know me? Don't you know the name of the game? You know, you spit, you know, you begin in whatever serves you, you know? You apply the tension, you know? And everything in due time, man, is you begin to believe in a different aura and into applying this pressure. You need to start getting into the rhythm of this courage route, man, is this courage route. It's believing. I've heard of this great saying too, is like, even at the moment, man, even at the moment where it just happens, you want to start already have it installed within you. Is you need to have it already installed in you, is believing your instinct over your intellect. We can have these ideas and rationalize of how, like, oh, if I do it this way, then this way. Like, don't sometimes, and maybe even all the time, also known as thinking about it, doesn't work all the time. There's no product, there's no movement, there's no action from there. You're just paralyzed, man. with that is you rely on your instinct. If it's right there at the moment, you fucking go. If it's this, you go for it. An idea, you go for it. But leaving your instinct over into, like, you have so much time to think about it. Like, I know a perfect person in my life who's just thinking about it, like, that is like, oh, I want to do this route, but I don't know. It's been like fucking already a year, and this dude hasn't even done, crap, man. It's instinct over into, like, why are you thinking about it? Why are you thinking about it? A lot of people have this whole season of their life, like, I'm thinking about it, like, I see that as being paralyzed. Like, deep down, like, oh my god, it's a risk. It's a risk, and the loss will be so much. And nowadays, time, yeah, that should put some fucking fear in you, that you need to start doing something. You need to be pretentious. You need to be someone of worth value, You need to be someone worth value, man, because I know I say this shit a lot, but I be like a selfish motherfucker, I ain't gonna lie, but I really am decisive into and judge of the people who are in my own life, like, what's popping, what do you got going in your life, like, I never want to be in company of someone who's just like ain't got nothing going on, because then it rubs off of me, and hey, maybe I'm a dick, maybe I'm not, but then you just read it and like, damn, like, this shit ain't for me, Like, sometimes I'm starting to think that too. Being too much is a problem now. Being too much. Hey, and with that, if I'm speaking to anyone who's going through the same, start change your lifestyle. Move to a different city. Be an onion. Go somewhere else and find the people, because they will come. They'll come to you. The world is moving around. Money goes round. The movement now is social media. Hey, take advantage of it. Another thing that I did want to talk about is finding your zero, man. Is finding your zero. I'm very big on how would you say, the whole purpose of this was, making the wise decisions of choosing the courage route over the comfort route. In anything, man, you want to make in anything is with decision making, like, life comes. I've said this once before, man, is I don't want to be that person to believe, like, oh, life happens, like, oh, that's life. Oh, life hurts. Life is gonna hit you like this, man. Life is gonna hit you like this. I sound fucked up, but I hear from old motherfuckers too, where they'll be like, well, that's life. That's life, life hurts. I would hear from my high school coach too, he'd be like, well, life is gonna be like this, life is gonna be like that, and we'd run like a motherfucker. I always was curious about that, like, how I would be like, damn, well, I agree and I don't agree. And being older now, yeah, bad things will always happen. I get it, bad things will always happen. But who am I to believe into that and be like, life is hard, like, life is hard, and I'm a bitch, I'm a cry, like, oh my god, like, life's hard, oh my god, like, what do I do? Inflation, all this president, oh my god, like, the prices are up. Like, literally, dog, like, literally, I heard it already, and this already got me right here thinking, is like, life doesn't just happen. Life comes from you. I've said this before. Life comes from you, not at you. Shit happens. Everyone's bullshitting about this, the election, I ain't gonna say my 2 cents, That's all I gotta say. But is that, hey, inflation goes up, you go up. The gas prices, all right, better job. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. I'm sidetracking right here, but I did a paper back then on fucking global warming, saying that what was it, the seals, or the polar bears and where Antarctica, they're gonna be extinct by 2045 to 2050. It's messed up. It's messed up. Like, tragic things are gonna happen. Supposedly they're gonna be extinct, but hey, life goes on. And what I gotta say is, like, instead of believing that narrative, like, life is hard, like, it's this, I'm a bitch, the prices are up, like motherfucker, you move up. You move up. Instead of worrying about the White House, you worry about your house. It's simple as that, and I don't mean to sound like a dick or the way that I'm saying this, but Like, nah, G, it's on you, homie. Like, how the fuck am I gonna be in my own house? Say if I have wife and kids, and then like I'd be like, oh no, wife, like, oh my god, my kids, what the fuck do we do? Like, nah, man, it's by spiritual authority that you be that G and handle the business, you know. Like I came from a low income family. I never knew that. They hid it from me because they knew they took care of it. Like, hey, he wants this, he wants that. We're able to afford it. It is by spiritual authority that you be that G and handle that shit. And then what does it start with? Your fucking attitude. It starts with you, the way you walk, the smallest things. A lot of motherfuckers want to skip the fundamentals. A lot of fools want to skip the fundamentals and be like, no, it's just this and this. Nah. How is the way you talk? How's your language? How's your body language? Like your fitness, your overall health? How's the insides? Because what inside goes out. What do you project out? What are your morals? What do you stand for? Are you a yes man? Do you fucking like I said before? Are you a motherfucker that needs the validation of others? How are you alone? How are you when it's quiet? How are you at neutral is what I'm about to talk about right now. Is you never want to make a decision based off of your feelings, too much of feelings. You want to always be, this is what was work for me, and I suggest to the viewer right now that this is watch. I guarantee you this would be a great practice for you, is finding your zero. Finding your zero in your own, like I like to call it, your euphoric state. Making your decisions through any trauma you might be going through, any exciting thing you might go through, is really finding your zero and marinate with that. What I mean by this is you never want to make a decision based off when you're too happy, or a decision when you're too sad, because oftentimes feelings can make us make the decisions that are not correct, you know, because based off that feeling, you know. Happiness comes from a place where you don't need no one. You have everything you need. When you're in a rush, you have to let go of the sense of self. You make 100 promises that you don't keep. Be real, so that you can actually change. You have to be yourself, and that's with anyone. If it's a friendship, a relationship, sexual or not, no one is themselves. You have to be like you know? And and that's what it is finding your zero. I would say, like, for me, finding my zero, honestly, is like I mentioned, is when it comes to, like I mentioned, is with fasting, is being abstinent of food for a duration of time. I would say, you know, I would suggest that based off of, like, obviously it is an exercise. What works for me is, you know, starting it off with would be 12 hours throughout the day, and then moving it to 16, moving it to 20. You know, that is a practice that I do, you know, in anything that I try to achieve, or if it's something so exciting, or if I'm going through something, you know, is being the absence of food. And, you know, being in a fasting window, you're able to be more clear, more decisive, and no brain fog as well. We're able to make the best decisions, I would say, possible, and all that. But to conclude this one, the best way that I can say this is really practice the muscle of bravery. Practice choosing the courage route over the comfort route, because then you're able to, again, like, I know I'm repeating myself, is basically well, after the bravery and knowing and taking the more bolder decisions, I swear, man, it is someone that then comes out and to be more assured of yourself. You know, you're able to stand 10 toes down and be able to know what you want. And again, to conclude this, man, to conclude this video, is again, I'm gonna say it again, is when you practice taking the courage route, man, over the comfort, I know it's a cheesy saying, but like, you begin to have this new, more, a better assurance of yourself, a new type of confidence, a new aura. And, you know, this confidence, I know you've heard of it a lot, but it's just being yourself in general. Like, I'm not faking it. Like, I'm not faking it no more. Yes, before, I ain't gonna lie, I used to be that guy that would fake it to make it. But then now, when you just begin to do, how would I say this? No, I'm starting on my words right here. But like, I used to be that guy that used to fake it. I ain't gonna lie, I used to be that guy that used to fake it and be like, oh yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident, yeah, like I'm good, like you know, it was a muscle, you know, it was a muscle, you know. My biggest insecurity was being like overweight, you know. But when you start applying the actions and the most bold approaches, you know, doing this, you know, this little thing, the actions, the product, you begin to break and you begin to be carved. You're sprouted into this new person, this new assurance, this new confidence. You're able to stand 10 toes down and literally leveling up and just not giving a fuck. You know, being nonchalant and not needing the validations of others. Like I dress this way, put on these, I put this. I ain't going outside for someone to be like, oh, you look good. Like, it's like, motherfucker, I know I look good, you know, and it's doing it for you. And again, I will say it's for everything you do, your career, your morals, your status, the people you're with in general. They say, oh, you're too much, you're too much, you're this, you're that. Damn right I'm too much. You know, I heard it from 50 Cent and shit too. And if, hey, do what serves you. If you have any person that you look up to, hey, imitate it, you know, imitate it. If it would do what serves you, I will say that if it comes off in a malicious, narcissistic way, then be the best at it, honestly. Obviously, go with good intentions and everything. But you heard it from 50 Cent. He was like, motherfuckers say that I'm crazy, and they say, like, well, what was he saying? He said this. You know what, I ain't gonna lie, I'll pull up this video right now, like, with the duration of the time that I have here. But nah, like, literally, like, I'm gonna be authentic right now. Something that I replay all the time, man. Something that I replay all the time, and trying to feel the best version of myself when before posting a video, before going out there, before starting my shit, before everything, before anything, you know. Like, I know I'm sure of myself, and I just need that quick reminder. And hey, sometimes we have little rituals. Sometimes we do these little things that can best serve us, you know? And hey, sometimes it's just not caring. And this is a mental monologue that I say in my head, and it's by 50 Cent. You know, this is what fuels me. This is what fuels me. And let me see if I can show you guys real quick. Now motherfuckers say you crazy, niggas call me crazy. You know I be thinking when they say that. Niggas say I'm crazy, I be thinking, yo. I was crazy enough to believe what the fuck I was gonna say gonna happen. That's why I was consistent enough and consistent enough to exist now. Feel what I'm saying? I'm from just like, who is him? Like, who he with? Me, nigga. By myself. I do all the fuck I want to. You know, like little shit like that. Little shit like that. And what's some mental monologue that can work with you? What's some mental monologue that can work with you, you know? Like with me, you know, I get jiggy with it. I do my shit, you know. Nerves come, things happen, job interviews. The chick you want to approach and say, what's up, this little shot now, fine. But nah, you feel me? And do whatever serves you, man. Again, I will end it with this. With bravery, man, it breaks out into then being assured of yourself, not needing the validations of others. You wear this, you do this, you talk like this for you. You don't need it from every motherfucker, you know? You do it for yourself. They say, that's too much, that's too much. Yeah, motherfucker, I am too much, you know? Like you spit, you do your shit, you know? And ain't that the most attractive thing, is just being you? It's just being you, G. You know, and keep your head up, man. Again, I appreciate for the viewers for watching this video. Again, I'm gonna be spitting it, you know, and I don't really say this a lot. But I will end the video with, you know, the people that follow me on Instagram and all that, even subscribed here. Throw me a question. And I'll be happy to answer it, honestly, you know, regardless of, you know, if we were homies or not and all that shit. I don't mind just trying to help the people. Yeah. Other than that, though, appreciate it. This is Brandon signing off.